Let's start then. Hi, I'm Isabel Coixet, and I'm a filmmaker, and I'm here to present something I saw and many times, and every time I've seen it, there is something new to discover. It's the short film Carne from the Brazilian filmmaker Camila Kater, and it's a Brazilian Spanish co-production. And in just 14 minutes, you see five stories who shape what is being a woman in five different times and five different ages of the life of a woman. And also, it's a short film with five stills of animation. But I think the magic of it, it's the director, Camila. She managed to make it one. Like when you see the film, okay, afterwards there were five animators working in this film with five styles. But when you're seeing it, it's a very fluid piece of work. And I wanna ask Camila, the director of the film, how do you, the five stories we see with these five characters are real people? How you manage to find them?
Hi, Isabel. First of all, thank you so much. I'm pretty honored to talk to you. And yes, CARNE is an animated documentary, and the voice you hear in the film, they're real stories. It's not scripted. We interviewed them like a chat, and before interviewing them, we did a lot of research and investigation about the themes we would approach. The main idea of making CARNE came from this ironic association between the meat cooking points and the women's stages of life. I had a conversation with my younger sister. She's very engaged in feminism. And from this point, I created 5 profiles for each one of the characters. And they were really simple. For example, the first one about the rare phase, it represents the childhood. It was a woman talking about her childhood, and a woman who was fat when she was a child, and talking a story about this period. So it was really simple, and the theme was fat phobia. And I did the same with the other chapters, and we got some reference from friends who knew about the project. Like, I know a woman who would fit this profile, would be very good for your film. And of course, I think every woman has a story to tell about their own bodies, and even stories about violence, abuse. And it wasn't difficult to get to those women. But I also learned a lot of them. There was this surprise aspect of documentary that was amazing.
Yeah. One of the things you grasp from the film is the fact, of course, men are made of blood and flesh, but it's like in the life of a man, flesh and blood are not so important as in the life of a woman. Like one of the characters says, when this teacher told me the Venus, the ancient Venus was a goddess, because people thought, these women, they bleed, but they don't die. And that helped her to understand what menstruating was and how important it was. And it was a key moment in their lives. I think you capture these 5 moments in the life of women, like key moments in their lives.
Oh, thank you, Isabel.
You're welcome. And, I mean, animation for me is always like a miracle. and it's really really astonishing how you use all these different animators to tell one stories, and you don't feel like it's like a continuous rhythm. And I think, how many people were involved in this project, and how many hours and days and months and years, I guess, you spent doing it?
Yeah, I guess we had like 25 people working in CARNE, and it was 5 animators, and me included. I animated the first chapter. But for example, we took 1.5 years to complete the film, and if we considered the inception, even more, because it started in 2016, and we got the finance from Espesini here in São Paulo in 2018. And the animation itself, it was pretty quick for animation because we did in 4 months. But it was, I was really concerned about having 5 techniques in the film, I think, before making it, because I thought it could be visually disturbing, or it could maybe not be unified. But I guess that at the end,
It is.
yeah, I felt more confident, and because there is a unity about the color palette, even there is a sensorial dimension to it. I think the techniques somehow help to tell its stories, because I don't know, we are talking about blood, for example, menstruation, and we use watercolor that is fluid and not even it looks like blood, and it's uncontrollable as well, like puberty, and we try to do this association.
Yeah, all the film breathes blood, but in a very nice and poetic way. The film managed to be very real and very poetic at the same time, and I think it's one of the good choices of to tell the story is the animation, no? Because I don't see many things who tell so many things with so little.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I think using animation was from the very start. I thought about animation because I'm an animator, and I came from a background in stop motion. But the film itself was supposed to be made in 2D digital from the beginning. And when I interviewed the 5 protagonists, I changed my mind. I changed my mind with the first one, Raquel Patricio. She was telling her story about being fat and having a mother who was a nutritionist, and all the limitations she had with regarding with food and everything. I thought maybe we can try to animate using a dinner plate as a white canvas, and using real food, a doll. And I was even more comfortable using this kind of technique because I come from this stop motion background. And the challenge was to do the same with the next interviewees, because we kind of interviewed them chronologically. And I think it also worked pretty well. And I'm proud of my animators team. They are really amazing, and they really believe in the stories. And they had like the full material of the audio recordings to have a relation with each of the interviews. We had like 6 hours of material, 6 hours of interviews. And I think it was important because they could relate with the subject, know more that the character, and represent it visually. We don't see the bodies, and it was intentional. We wanted to protect these women somehow.
Yeah, I think it's really incredible, no? How you never seen these women, you just hear their voices, but the power of the kind of animation you use and the kind of editing and everything. It's like you know them, and I think this is astonishing because you have very few minutes with every of these people. But in a way, if you have, it's like, you're taking us to, to many, I think, what the most important, not all, but most important issues of being a woman and in relationship with the body. um what about the I have to say, the third story, the one who become violent, the one with the trans black woman. How was it? Was a person you knew before? How was it?
Uh, Actually, Raquel Virginia, she's a famous singer here in Brazil. I was a fan of her work, and I followed her on social media, but I haven't met her before doing CARNE. So it was someone that came up with the investigation process, the research, and I decided that she would be perfect to represent this stage of life. And her story is so strong. Yeah.
Yeah, because one of the things who really touched me in the film is how, of course, human beings, we all, society make us, they want us to be in a very specific boxes, no? But when you're a woman, especially if you're as she says in the film, no, if you're a trans black woman of certain age, it's even worse, no, because there are no labels for you. There are, I mean, society tried to make up a label, and you're always escaping all these labels and all these boxes they try to put us. At least is how I live and I see, people
Yeah.
behave.
Yeah. And Isabel, do you have did you connect with the film with some character in particular? How it was for you?
um I have to say I connect with everyone. um but I have to say I really like the moment with with the woman. I think it's the one before the end, when she says, I don't want you remove my uterus, no. I mean, and I really like when she says, what, okay, you're not using your balls, like, let's cut it, no. Oh, I love that. I really love that. And I think it was a very brave thing to put in the film. And I think all the women in the audience, when they're gonna see that, they're gonna cheer. They're gonna clap. Yeah, because it's true, there is a whole spectrum of the healthcare, who is like, okay, she doesn't need uterus. Let's. I mean, they do that. Doctors do that in every country in the world, not just, not in the first world, but in the third world, and I don't know if there is a fourth world, but they do it. It's like, come on, in the bodies of men, there are a bunch of things they don't use, and they don't, they use, for them, the body of the woman is just like a lab, like a battlefield. And I really like that moment when she says that about when she says that to the doctor. I love that.
Yeah, I love that as well. And I also I love the way that Valkyria tells her story, because
Yeah.
it's very strong as well. But she tells in a light way with laughter, and it's
Yeah,
amazing.
because that's important too. And I think it's one of the beauties of the wonders of the film, because it has a lot of sense of humor. It's telling very powerful stories, in a very synthetic way, and with tons of humor. And I love the humor that, yeah, too. And I like also, the final one with the old woman and how she's like, okay, I'm here, okay, still alive, still kicking, my body is, maybe it's not as pretty as it was, but it serves me, and I'm proud of it. And I think your film has a great advantage. It can be shown in schools, in universities, and also in nursing homes with for old people.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
And
It's
how it was working also, because I work with the same musician, Sophia. I think she
with
did a great
Sophia.
job with the soundtrack.
Yeah, she did an amazing job. Yeah, Sophia was great. Yeah, we it was we did it remotely because I was here in Brazil.
Ah,
Uh, yeah, and I actually never met her in person yet. We didn't have the chance. We finished the film before the pandemic. Yeah, we premiered before as well, but I didn't have the chance to meet her in person. But it was amazing. She connected with the film, and she had so many ideas to relate the soundtrack with each one of the techniques. She's amazing.
yeah, she is, and she's very young, and I think she has a very promising career in front of her, and
Yeah.
and and I hope I will work with her again, because it was a very, very good experience. She's very particular, and very workman. It's very good. And how
Yeah,
Spanish Brazilian co-production?
yeah. The co-production, it was something that how it went was really interesting because we were making the film here in Brazil, and as I told you, it was supposed to be 2D digital, but afterwards I changed my mind to the 5 techniques, and also the budget changed. But during the production process, Bolsonaro was elected here in Brazil, so we didn't have many resources left in cinema, unfortunately. And we contacted Cello Loureiro, which is an amazing animation producer, and she agreed to join us. So it was like an alliance between Brazilian filmmakers and Cello. It was great, and hopefully I will work with her again as well, and with Sophia. Sophia.
Yeah, people think about co-productions as, for me, co-productions show, you know, people of all kinds of different parts of the world can be in the same space and in the same world and aiming to the same thing. And I think it's one of the wonders of filming. One of the wonders is, you're making this film in Brazil, with co-production with Spain, with a musician you never know, but when the spirit is there, and the urge to do something great and beautiful, and people around the world getting together to do something, it's, for me, it's one of the things who give me some hope about the future of this job, this business, or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I agree with you. And also, you have perspectives from other parts of the world about the same subject. It's amazing.
Yeah, but you see, you did a film with 5 women from Brazil, but I know you will show this film in Singapore, and people will connect with it, and in Japan, in Australia, in South Africa. I mean, I'm pretty sure the stories, of course, with differences, with nuances, with things, but the core of the spirit of what you have done, it will speak to people all over the world, and I hope you will be, you will have a chance to show it. I know you have been in many festivals already, that I know.
Yeah. I had the chance to go to some festivals before the pandemic because the film premiered in
Like real
Locarno
festivals, you mean, with people?
with people. Yes.
With people.
Yeah, with the big screen and
Oh,
uh, yeah, and the reaction of the audience, it's amazing. They usually laugh a lot with the clip you were telling, like about Valkyria, and it's amazing. Also, after the screening, women usually approach me to tell their own stories, and it's so special. It's so pretty.
yeah, that could be a problem too, because you will finish with so many stories. There's a moment it's like, no, my story should make it in a film. Yeah.
Yeah, it can be a problem.
I mean, at the beginning is nice, but after a while, you're like, okay, don't tell me.
Yeah.
This is your first, your first short film. But when you have done like several, even feature films, it gets worse. Everyone has a story to tell.
Yeah, I imagine. Yeah.
Yeah. Talking about one thing we talked before. Well, I told you before about the boxes and how you have to fix and you have to be labeled. I am the one with the singer. The when she says, I'm okay. I'm from Brazil and I'm black but I don't like samba. I don't like I don't like the things everyone wants me to like. I like that too. That was a very nice detail. It's
Yeah.
like when you say you're from Spain and it's like, oh, you're in, let's say, in Norwegian or in Sweden, and people say, oh, España, flamenco. You're like, no, actually, I don't really like flamenco.
Yeah. Yeah. Really. Yeah, I totally agree with that. And also, I guess that Brazil is very famous for like carnival and like women. And when you imagine a Brazilian woman is always in a sexualized way, and I think
Yeah,
that Raquel speaks about that as well.
yeah, yeah. See, yeah, for instance, I don't have a, I mean, I don't think people have a prototype of the Brazilian man, but everybody has a prototype of the Brazilian woman, and that's also so boring, don't you think? It's not
Yeah,
just sexist and whatever you want to call it, but it's just boring.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
boring. It's reducing us, yes, to
yeah.
one thing.
It's like, yeah, I know. And I want to. So you think how it affect you, like for instance, the festivals now online. Do you think they have the same effect in people?
Yeah, I really enjoy festivals, and I'm happy that they are still going on, but it's totally different. I guess the connections it's different. The how you I don't know. I'm usually talking with other filmmakers, but just for a few minutes. It's and I can't meet the audience. It's I think it I think this the audience reaction is something that I miss the most. I guess we don't have it. It can be some message on Instagram, something like this, but it's not the same thing.
Yeah,
It's
it's
sad.
like, yeah, it's not the same. When you go to a festival and you show the fact of the big screen is not just because the screen is big, it's because there is darkness and there is a community of people sharing the experience of just seeing that, not, looking at their phones at home, like, the dog, the neighbors. I don't know. It's something different and And well, let's see. Maybe I don't know how it's going on in Brazil. How, are you getting like jabs, vaccines, or what is going on?
Yeah, the situation here is pretty bad. The vaccination started, but we still have Bolsonaro as the president, and he is against vaccines, and
Hey,
he has his followers, and it's people are really preoccupied with all of that. And we had a very serious problem in Manaus recently with oxygen supply, and
yeah,
people
so,
die with that. Yeah, did you hear about it? It's terrible. It's terrible. Um, yeah. And Livia just remembered us that today is the Trans Visibility Day here in Brazil. So
wow,
yeah.
that's there is a day for everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there are so many causes. Like we need visibility for lots of causes, and I don't know. Maybe someday there will be the day for the filmmakers' visibility, for the female filmmakers' visibility.
Yeah. Yeah, I have this. Chilo gave me. I think I saw you
Ah,
with this
yeah,
as
yeah,
well.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's so nice. Más mujeres.
Más mujeres. And in Brazil, there are like lots of female filmmakers. How is it working there?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of us, but the opportunities are very few. And for example, in animation, that's my field, it's even worse. I've been working in some studios, and I didn't like it. And I think Carney really changed my mind about animation and how I want to follow my career. And I want to make more independent film like Carney. I don't feel comfortable working in studios. It's so we as women we don't have the same roles. We are not credited as men. The salary sometimes it even like for me, for example, once I received 3 times less than a man working the same position. So it, it's pretty
Yeah.
bad, and it needs to work. It needs to change. Más mujeres,
Más
por
mujeres.
favor. Sí.
Más mujeres con más dinero.
Sí.
That's important too.
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah. I don't know. What else you want to tell me about Carne?
We are also planning to make a series with Carne, and Chilo will co-produce as well. And we are thinking about maybe having characters from other parts of the world. For now, we are thinking about Spain, Brazil, Palestine, Nigeria, and China. And we would interview them about other topics that were not approached in Carney, and because it's, for example, it's like a cutout Carney. Carney is just 5 characters, 5 topics, and we want to make more stories about it.
I think the structure of Carne really allows you to go, to other issues in the life of women, and there are a bunch of issues to be explored. And I really hope I will see them very soon.
Yeah, thank you, Isabel. I hope so.
You'll see. It will happen because you did an amazing job with Carne. Really, I was really impressed, and I have to say also, I'm not a fan of animation. I think uh, I mean I can see animation films, but you know, yeah, the Miyazaki films because I'm obsessed with Japan and everything has to be with Japan, but I normally am not. And I think your short film show me you can touch very, very very important issues, and animation is a way to to tell a story with very few things, and with a lot of effect.
Mm. Yeah, that's nice. Thank you, Isabel.
De nada. Pues I don't know how are we doing? We have more time.
Yeah, I think we have it's maybe 2 minutes left.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there is someone in your house, like
Hammering, yes.
your neighbors.
Always, always.
Your neighbors are changing the decoration.
Yeah, when you need silence, they start to hammer. It's always like
And
that.
people can watch Carne in the section co-op of the New York Times, isn't it?
Yeah. CARNE is online. It's available online, free, and you can see here the link.
Yeah.
In the New York Times Op Docs. Please watch CARNE.
Watch it now, and if you watch it once, you will watch it twice. You'll see.
Thank you, Isabel.
Thank you, Camila, and lots of luck with with the nomination and whatever. I just want to tell you, sometimes I'm sure you have lots of possibilities, but if it doesn't happen, that doesn't change. Carne is an amazing shot.
Thank you, Isabel. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
And lots of luck with Carne and with your future projects.
Thank you, Isabel. It was amazing to talk to you. It was such an honor. I really, I'm really big fan. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Ciao.
Ciao.
Adios. Bye.
Bye-bye.